You know what I've been thinking? Money corrupts. Especially with the recent news of Reddit and Twitter, it's got me thinking. All of this has been in chase for ad revenue, for money, for better standing with the mainstream society, etc. And when it all boils down to, it's money, isn't it? That's all they're banning. Fat people hate, neo-fag, etc. That's why they're banning them. It's not just, I should say, because they disagree with the political motivations or just the plain old shit posting that these people do. It sets a bad example to would-be advertisers and ad revenue providers, like Intel. So it all boils down to is money corrupts. How, do you ask? Shineman 93. How does money corrupt these places? Well, let's take a look at a few examples. First, I'm going to start with something that's vaguely similar. YouTube. YouTube, when it started in 2005, was very much like Reddit and Twitter. Not a lot of ads, in fact hardly any, that were intrusive, until Google bought it. And then when Google bought it, it became mainstream. And when it became mainstream, that means it has to appease the people who are middle of the road. They're middle class, doesn't matter if they're white, black, Asian, etc. These people in the middle of the road don't like being offended, don't like their kids being offended. They love a mollycoddled, safe environment for everyone. So they introduced adverts to make money because, Google wants some of that money. Don't be evil doesn't apply once you become a multi-billion-dollar business. So YouTube grows, and then their copyright laws are further stringent. They increase the amount of DMCA takedowns, mainly through people, but also YouTube could potentially be a part of the problem, especially in regards to people who are atheists, who are being accused of religious hate when they're not. They're mostly criticising a set of ideas, but YouTube still constantly takes them down. I've had a history with it, Thunderfoot and the Amazing Atheist springs to mind. And so YouTube is now what it is, middle of the road, appeases the mainstream of society, has loads of intrusive ads, etc. And it's not got that Wild West feeling that it once had in its heydays of 2005 to, I'd say about, was it 2009 that it was bought? Correct me in the comments. And then, to go completely left field, let's take a look at music festivals, specifically British ones, because I don't know what it's like in America. Now, in the 60s when they first sprung up, they were all mostly free, in fact entirely free. Glastonbury was free, other places were free, Woodstock was free in America, and then along comes the Isle of Wight Festival, which was the first music festival that I can think of, counterculture wise, that was meant you had to pay and had a limited amount of tickets, and people were crazy, like, why are you doing this? Music is meant to be free. At least, like, to them it should have been free in that crazy world of hippie subculture, and they had a point, but no, they couldn't pay for it. Some people tried to jump the walls when originally there were no walls stopping people, and then eventually during the 70s and 80s, even though all festivals by this point were no longer free, they still had that edge. They still had that counterculture edge, with the drugs and the rock and roll and the sex. And then eventually, in the 90s, as all these people have grown old and they've realised that this is a very good business to make money out of, they change suit. They ban drugs. They ban, they don't ban sex, but they make it harder to do the freewheeling and youthful things that they would have done when they were in their 20s. And now festivals are largely populated by old middle class men and women who take their kids. There's very, very few teenagers and young adults going to festivals. And you can see it in even the festivals now who are on the fringes but are entering the mainstream. Like, I went to Boomtown in 2014, and from what I can gather, it was becoming a lot more mainstream. Originally they didn't really care if you took drugs into the festival. Now they were telling you to, if you've got any drugs, to put it in a box at the entrance. Of course nobody did. anyone who did was an idiot. Now, once you got inside, it was kind of okay, I guess. I mean, no one was getting frisked or searched once they got inside, like once they got past all that bullshit. And when I went to see the Wailers, the MC who was introducing all the acts was like, "This is a ganja friendly zone," and I was like, nice guy. All my friends will like that, because I don't smoke that. So yeah, as you can see, as it's getting bigger and bigger, it's attracting more of a middle class audience, because that's where the money is, and that's why festivals nowadays, at least the big ones, are all really expensive, and that most people only go for a day. And this is what's happened to Reddit, Twitter and YouTube. In order to make money and to appease the mainstream society, because that's what they want more people to come, they want more ad revenue, to make more money, because it's a profitable business. That means values have to be changed, morals have to be abandoned, which is why we've got people like Chairman Pow in charge, and whoever it is that's running Twitter at the moment. Freedom of speech doesn't matter to these people, only the money. So that's my opinion and all that. Money has corrupted these organisations that once were part of the Wild West that is Web 2.0. And as we see the end of Web 2.0, whenever that happens, YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, they will no longer be what they once were. They will be like Glastonbury, Reading and Leeds, Lollapalooza, Woodstock, just another cash grabbing organisation feeding on the middle class's wealth. And that's probably why my mum hates the founder of Glastonbury Festival, because he's just a horrible capitalist farmer. Although I'm kind of paraphrasing, and she didn't really call him that. So anyway, what are your thoughts? This has been Chairman Man 93. Like and share the video, drop a comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you later.